Now we will start with next topic, that is process synchronization. In this video we will see what critical section problem is. Process synchronization is the task of coordinating the execution of processes in a way that no two processes can have access to the same shared data and resources at the same time. It is especially needed in a multiprocess system when multiple processes are running together and more than one processes try to gain access to the same shared resource or data at the same time. This can lead to the inconsistency of shared data. So the change made by one process not necessarily reflected when other processes access the same shared data. To avoid this type of inconsistency of data, the processes need to be synchronized with each other. Here in figure, you can see a process A and process B both are sharing the same memory location. Okay. Process A is writing into a memory location while B is trying to read the same memory location. Then there is a high probability that data read by the second process will be erroneous. In a sequential execution, no problem of process synchronization as the processes are not running parallel. For example, in ATM machine, after completion of tasks of one user, another user will operate. But in multi-programming system, the processes are running in parallel. At the same time, many processes can be running simultaneously. Some processes may be cooperative processes and some may be independent processes. We have already learned what are cooperative and independent processes in the beginning of this unit. Cooperative processes can share variables, memory, code or resources. Example, railway reservation system. If the process synchronization is not done properly in cooperative processes, then it may create a problem called as race condition, which we have seen earlier. We will see one more example to understand the concept of synchronization. For uniprocessor system, there are two cooperative processes. Okay, so we are taking one uniprocessor system. In that, there are two cooperative processes P1 and P2, sharing one variable, common variable named shared. The execution is parallel here, but any one process may start first. So we'll assume that P1 starts executing first. So first statement in P1 is this. Here we have declared one local variable x, integer type, that is equal to shared. So what is the value of shared here? It's 5. So x becomes 5. The next statement is increment x. So this becomes 5 plus 1 equal to 6. And now see the third statement. It is sleep. Sleep 1 means sleep for 1 second. Okay. We have learned the concept of preemption. So here the CPU will do the context switching. The context switching means CPU will start executing the next available process. So next available process is P2. From here the control will go to P2. Okay. So what is the first statement in P2? Here again there is a local variable y which is equal to shared. The value of shared is 5. The next statement is in decrement y. So 5 minus 1 becomes 4. And third again there is a sleep. So again the control will go from here to here because the next available process is P1. No other process is available. So the status of P1 and P2 is stored where we have learned, that is in process control block. Okay. So when the control comes here, the shared value will be equal to x. What is the value of x? X is 6. So shared will be equal to 6. And after this, the process will terminate. Process P1 is terminated and again the control will go back here. Okay. So what is the next statement? Shared equal to y. So what is y? 4. So shared will be equal to 4. So what will happen? First the value of shared was 5. It became 6 and then it became 4. So is it a right correct result? No, it's not correct result. Why? Because the initial value was 5. We have added 1 to it. So it should have become 5 plus 6. 5 plus 1 equal to 6. And then we have decremented 1. So the value at the end, it should have been 5 only. Because 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. But the answer is wrong. Why the answer is wrong? Because there is no synchronization between P1 and P2. Critical section is the part of the program where the shared resources are accessed by various processes. Here we are talking about cooperative processes. We can also say that the critical section is the place where shared variables or resources are placed. The program is divided into two parts, critical and non-critical. So here I have shown the critical section and a non-critical section. If there is something shared between the processes, then that will keep it in the critical section. Okay, and independent code will be in the non-critical section. So dependent or shared code will be where? It will be in critical section, and independent code will be in the non-critical section. Okay, there are four essential elements of critical section: entry section, then critical section, exit section, and the last is remainder section. We will see each element in brief. The process which wants to enter critical section must execute code written in entry section. It is just like locking and unlocking. Whenever we want to enter our home, we must follow some steps. It is just like that. There are different methods of entry sections that we will see later. So for example, if there are more number of processes, okay, so at one particular time, only one process is allowed to enter a critical section. For all other processes, this will provide a lock. Okay, so for all other processes, the critical section will be locked. Okay, so after the entry section, the next is critical section. So after the completion of execution of entry section process can enter critical section. A critical section is a segment of code which can be accessed by a single process at a specific point of time. If entry section allows one process to execute and enter critical section, then it will not allow other processes to enter the critical section. Means in the critical section only one single process can be executed. Other processes waiting to execute their critical section need to wait until the current process completes its execution. If we don't follow this, race condition will occur, and due to that we may get wrong results. Once the execution of critical section is over, okay, process will enter the exit section. It allows other process that is waiting in the entry section to enter the critical section. It also checks that a process that finished its execution should be removed through this section. At the last, there is a remainder section. There is a remainder section where all other parts code will be present which is not there in the entry, critical and exit section. Now there are many ways to implement synchronization, but it should fulfill four conditions. So the critical section needs to satisfy four conditions. First is mutual exclusion, then progress, bound waiting and no assumptions related to hardware or speed. First two conditions are mandatory and primary and the next two are secondary. Let's say that there are two cooperative processes P1 and P2. As discussed earlier, we should not bother about synchronization of non-critical section. If any one process, either P1 or P2, enters the critical section, then the remaining process is not allowed to enter the critical section at the same time to avoid race condition. we must write the code in each process entry section that if one of the process is in critical section, then the current process cannot enter the critical section. If this is true, then we can say that mutual exclusion is implemented. So in short, only one process can be in critical section, other process must wait till the first complete its task. Now we'll see the next condition, that is progress. P1 and P2 wants to access the code written in the critical section to execute its own program. If critical section is free and P2 is interested in accessing it and P1 is not, but P1 is blocking P2 to access critical section, then there is no progress. So P1 is restricting P2 and P2 is restricting P1 to access critical section, then there is no progress. Okay, this can happen due to the code written in the entry code of the process. Now next is bounded wait. If P1 is in critical section and P2 is waiting to go in critical section, after completing the execution of P1, P1 comes out and re-enters critical section. P2 is still waiting. It is valid that P1 is using critical section 4 times or 5 times and P2 only once. But if P1 is using critical section infinite time and P2 is getting chance only once, then it is not valid. It is kind of starvation. So there has to be a bounded wait, that is a specific time. After the time limit is reached, the system must allow the other process to enter the critical section. The last is, the fourth condition is no assumption related to hardware or speed. The solution provided cannot be dependent on some hardware configuration or processor speed, and it should be portable, means it should not happen that the solution is working on one operating system and not working on another.